Hello you guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing a vlog, a very highly anticipated one. I've already seen like a million of these, but I was like, you know what, I gotta do this. I gotta do this for people who enjoy my videos and for people who love Colleen Hoover like I do. If you are not aware, Colleen Hoover's newest book and the sequel to It Ends With Us did just release like 2 weeks ago at this point, and so this is It Ends With Us. I think a lot of people have seen this all over TikTok, but we are going to be reading the sequel to this book in this video. So that today is a reading vlog. And if you haven't read this before, I want to give a little bit of a summary so that you're not completely lost on what It Starts With Us is about. So these are the two books together. Absolutely stunning. I have no words. So this book is loosely based on Colleen Hoover's family life when she was young. It is about Lily Bloom, who grew up in an abusive household. Her father would abuse her mother, and she kind of had to live with that and grow up with this childhood trauma, and she never wanted anything like that for her family in her life. When she was younger, she does meet Atlas. He ends up being this homeless kid from her school, and she decides to help him out. And along the way, they do essentially fall in love. They're still really young, so it's hard to say, but they become really close, and he ends up having to leave, go to Boston, and she never hears from him for like years and years. She then moves to Boston herself and meets this guy named Ryle, who is much older than her and is a surgeon, and they end up kind of working out like an agreement. It does say on the back here that Ryle is assertive, stubborn, maybe even a little arrogant, but he's also sensitive, brilliant, and has a total soft spot for Lily. But Ryle's complete aversion to relationships is disturbing. So he's not really looking for anything too serious. However, throughout the book, I feel like they definitely do end up having this deep connection. And the book does follow domestic abuse within Lily's life, essentially, and what she wants for herself. And also Atlas does come back into the picture in this book, kind of closer to the end, I guess, and it makes her realize what she deserves. So that's kind of how this book goes. I highly recommend you read this if you want to read It Starts With Us. I don't think I really spoiled anything by saying all that, but that is It Ends With Us, and we are going to be reading It Starts With Us for this video, so I'm really excited. I have already started reading. I'm on, I think, about 70 pages in out of like 350. So this book is basically a continuation from It Ends With Us. Like, it literally starts off where It Ends With Us ended off, and we are following a dual point of view. We are following Atlas and Lily and basically finding their happily ever after, as well as just seeing how Lily and Ryle kind of go about their relationship. I don't want to spoil anything from that book, but yes, Ryle is still in the picture, so they're trying to figure out how to civilly be in each other's lives while she is trying to fall in love with Atlas again. And I'm really excited. So far, the first 50 pages have been amazing. Nothing like really big has happened so far, but Lily and Atlas have kind of started to talk almost every day and get to know each other again as adults, if you will. So that's where we're at here. I'm gonna keep you guys updated. Probably next time it'll be at like the halfway mark or something like that, then 75, then at the very end we will talk about it and how I felt, because I did give It Ends With Us a 4.5 out of 5, and I am anticipating close to that rating for this. So those are the two books, but let's get to reading It Starts With Us. I am so excited. Oh yeah, I totally forgot to. I wanted to preface this by saying that I know a lot of people don't really like Colleen Hoover. To each their own. I personally have loved her writing. The first book I ever read from her was Verity, so I always thought she was kind of like a thriller author, and then when I found her romance, I was sucked in. So I don't know why, but I'm just going to show off all my Colleen Hoover books right now because there's a lot. So this is not even like half of them probably that she has published, but these are all the books of Colleen Hoover that I own, so let's see if I can show them off. Okay, so starting from the bottom, I have Hopeless, Regretting You, Maybe Someday, Confess, Without Merit, Layla, Reminders of Him, which is one of my all-time favorites, All Your Perfects, Ugly Love, Verity, November 9, and then obviously we have It Ends With Us and Starts With Us. So clearly I know my Colleen Hoover, so I'll let you guys know all my thoughts throughout this video, and yeah, I'll talk to you in the next clip. Hello you guys, the lighting is very orange because the sun is setting, but I'm on page 92 of It Starts With Us, and it is honestly so heartbreaking. I know that this isn't like a real story, but it's so heartbreaking hearing what Atlas has gone through. He has written like a letter for Lily about just things that she maybe didn't know from his childhood, because he did tell her stuff in the first book when they were growing up, but not everything. And there are certain aspects of Atlas's story that really resonate, but I just wanted to mention that. I'm not going to go into detail obviously, but there are just certain things that really resonate with me and with things in my life and people in my life. So yeah, I'm really enjoying it though. I really am. I'm hoping to read up until like page 130 tonight, so I'll keep you guys updated, and again I will let you know on the halfway mark like how I'm really liking it. But so far, incredible, and I would have it no other way. It's Colleen Hoover. I mean, she always impresses me.
You're so beautiful.
God. Alright guys, hello. Let's talk about it. I told you I was gonna come vlog at the 50% mark. Lost track of time. I'm at like 64% or something. Let me just check what page I'm on. So for any of you on Goodreads, you should definitely go follow me. We can be friends. I have it in the link down below. But I am currently, yes, 64% of the way through on page 215. So I am really enjoying this. I will say that. The only complaint I have is that I feel like it's been a very slow process for Lily and Atlas to kind of come together for this happy ending that she has told us we are going to get. And I think it's realistic. It's a good timeline for someone who literally has a 1-year-old daughter with an abusive man. Totally get it. And with Atlas, I'm glad we're getting to know him. I just feel like there's a subplot in this book, and I don't want to spoil it, that is kind of just adding on to Atlas's plate without us getting to know him too well, if that makes sense. So while I understand where Colleen is coming from with this, and I think that it actually does show us even more of Atlas's character as a person, how like beautiful of a person he is, I just feel like the subplot wasn't really necessary. With that being said, I'm loving it. I love seeing Atlas kind of interact with kids. I love how she treats Lily. I just love, honestly, all of it so far, and I've been flying through this. It's only been, I think today is day 4 of me reading this. It could even be day 3, so that's pretty fast for me to go through a book, and I'm 65% of the way through. With that being said, obviously, like I said, they're going very slow in the book, and so they have only had their first kiss like pretty recently. I would honestly say like this book was insanely slow, and maybe not in all good ways, up until around page 180, which is like, I think around halfway or something like that. So we're getting a lot of background on the characters, but not really on things that I personally wanted, and everyone's opinion is going to be different. I'm not judging the book based on that, because Colleen wrote this with good reason, with a purpose, I'm sure. So I'm really looking forward to how it ends and seeing the relationship flourish in the end. I really want to know how she's going to talk to Ryle about her dating Atlas, because we all know he is a very scary man. So yeah, I am really liking it though. I just wanted to give an update, and I will probably give one more update at the very end for you guys. Those are my thoughts right now. Am I leaning towards 5 stars? I don't know. Maybe it's definitely between a 4 and a 5 for me so far. I think the ending is going to determine how I truly feel. So we will see at the end of this video. Hello you guys. It is now Sunday. I finished It Starts With Us yesterday, and I decided to sit outside to finish off this video. So obviously, like we talked about, It Ends With Us is the first book in this series, and I think initially I gave this a 5 out of 5, but overall, after absorbing it, I gave it more of like a 4.5, maybe even a 4.75. So still super, super, super good, super emotional and meaningful, has a message that I think we all need to be reading about at this point. So I love this. However, It Starts With Us, I gave this baby a 5 out of 5. It was so good. Like, I think a lot of people have had very not negative, but people weren't really impressed with this, and it surprises me, and I think it's just because everyone relates to books so differently. So for me, while I really did love It Ends With Us, it was obviously on the sadder side because of the message, which is fine, and I also just feel like this one wasn't relatable for me personally, and I'm very thankful for that. Whereas this book, even some of the parts that were more sad, more upsetting, I still related to them, on top of this just being a much lighter read and something that I just hold near and dear to my heart for the characters' sake. So we get the dual point of view of Lily and Atlas, and I loved that because I really did, you know, I didn't really feel like I got a lot of Atlas in this, and I was like, I don't really care about him at this point. But after reading this, oh, I care about him. I care about him a lot. He is definitely a book boyfriend for me. I adored him. I loved their relationship. I loved how patient he was with her. Obviously he wanted, like, he could have literally married her like within a week, but he didn't. And he was totally fine with it going her pace, considering the fact that Lily does have a child at this point with Ryle. So some of this might be spoilers, and I'm sorry, but I'll put a little spoiler thing in the title so that you guys know at the end of this video there are some spoilers. But yeah, it basically goes through a little over a year of their relationship. We see them grow and try and figure out their own family conflicts as individuals and come together and help each other emotionally, which was so beautiful. Like, we get to see Lily definitely grow into her own, become a more confident woman, a more confident mother for her child, and it's just really beautiful and inspiring to see that. And then on Atlas's end, he does have a whole subplot of his own, which I think was maybe my only downside to this book, because I really just wanted to get to know him at the core. But this did help us learn a lot about him and his values in family and love. So with that subplot, we get to know a lot more about Atlas's family trauma and childhood trauma, and some of that was very relatable for me. So this book to me was just so near and dear to my heart. I loved it, and I loved that, as she even tells you at the very beginning, this is a lighter read and there is a happily ever after for these two, and they so deserve it. So it wrapped up honestly perfectly to me, and I would still love to know where they're at 10 years from now, honestly, so we'll see if she ever does that. But yeah, 5 out of 5 for me. I was so in love with this and their story, and I'm an emotional wreck, but it was so enjoyable. That is the end of this video. Thank you guys so much for watching my reading vlog on It Starts With Us and just listening to all my honest thoughts about the book, because it was a treat. So thank you for watching. Be sure to subscribe down below and turn on that notification bell if you want to see more videos from me. I post every single Friday, and without further ado, I will see you in my next one.